let's jump into some news around the direction of the college football playoff. You got Yahoo's Ross Dellinger reporting that a 16-team playoff format is starting to gain some support. Now, the format of that 16-team playoff when it comes to auto bids per conference would be 4 for the SEC, 4 for the Big Ten, 2 for the ACC, 2 for the Big 12, 1 for the G6, and then 3 at-large bids. Now, the formatting of this would change conference title weekend, which we'll get into here in a second. But to me, what this says is where there's smoke, there's fire. The Big Ten and the SEC saying, hey, this is gaining support with us. That's like teachers at school saying that the new recess format is gaining support. The Big Ten and the SEC are going to have a very large hand in the decisions that are made when it comes to this next college football playoff format. Why? Because they are holding a lot of cards when it comes to the brands that are going to attract viewership and the financial part of this with the TV deals. They hold a lot of cards. So for the Big Ten and the SEC to say this is starting to gain support with us, that means that this is probably the direction this is going to go. To me, I'm saying where there's smoke, there's fire. So that's one part of this. Now, my thoughts on this as it pertains to the health of college football, I'll be wrong. We never even tried 6 teams. We never even gave it a thought. We just went from 4 to 12. I've made that point many times. To go to 16 teams and to be looking past 14 feels a little bit nauseating to me, because my concern now is we're continuing to chip away at what made this sport so awesome, which is, of course, the regular season. The fact that every single weekend, if your team lost, whether they were playing Cornell or Alabama, that loss directly correlated to impacting their postseason aspirations or their bowl game aspirations, or what it totally changed your New Year's Day plans based on 1 week, regardless of opponent. I digress. Now, what this is going to mean in a more immediate sense is conference title weekend. We miss you. We love you. You're probably about to be put out to pasture. What it's going to look like is the ACC and the Big 12 will, it's still TBD there. I'm assuming they'll do a 2 versus 3 to decide who gets that second auto bid for their conference. I'm assuming that your number 1 seed that wins the regular season in your conference, probably you're going to go ahead and say, hey, congratulations, you're in Dubai, take some tread off the tires, go cook them up until the college football playoff. But the Big Ten and the SEC, the reports are already out there. They're going to have a not 1 but 2 different games for play-ins for their bids in that conference. So, again, conference title weekend, if you've been watching these last couple of seasons, especially this last season, you can't help but feel a little bit like that's great you earn a bye, but like why would we have our lead racehorse put some more mileage on their body if they're going to go, give us a chance to have our conference have a national championship? Makes no sense. So in this format, if you're going to 16 teams, if I'm reading this correctly, probably nobody's getting a bye. So if you win the conference in the regular season, if you're, let's just take the conference champions from last year, for example. If you're Oregon, you're not playing Penn State in the conference title game. You're just saying, hey, go rest up and then get ready for the college football playoff. Now, who looks genius in this whole thing now? Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They already didn't have a conference title game they were playing in. Oh, by the way, they're just raking in buku bucks every single TV deal that comes their way, not to even mention the money they made from the college football playoff, because they're not splitting it across a conference full of teams. But now, not only do they not play a conference title weekend, that they already in itself, there used to be where they had a governor on what their seeding could be in the college football playoff because of the way the buys worked. They couldn't be higher than a 5 seed. There's 16 teams. I don't know how you limit Notre Dame's seeding in the college football playoff. So now they already had the bye, which they had previously from the other format, but now going to 16, looks like Notre Dame, again, we'll see how this whole thing shakes out, but I don't see a way where you put a ceiling on what their seeding could be going forward. So Notre Dame playing chess, everyone else is playing checkers, good for the Irish. What this also means for the SEC is they're probably going to 9 conference games because you're telling them, hey, you have 4 spots guaranteed for the college football playoff. Go ahead and beat the crap out of each other, is how I'm reading this thing. Now, I'm not a fan of this. Those of y'all that watch this show, you know I'm not a fan of this. I don't like the idea of rewarding conferences over teams. And people will say, oh, this guy's a SEC homer, this guy's a whatever. Say whatever you want, think whatever you want. I'm just telling you, if 4 Big 12 teams are what we need as the top 4 seeds, let's do that. Let's not put a governor on, well, then you only get this many teams from this conference and that conference. Like that's stupid. That's stupid. And honestly, a lot of the conversation last year during the playoff was the seeding needs to be changed. We need to find a way to format that differently. And I was saying the exact same thing. But as you sit with it longer, one thing that I think would, kind of help the seeding discussion is you just from the jump say we're not taking different buys for each conference. It's just those top 4 seeds get a bye in the 12-team playoff or in the 16-team playoff. The teams that are top 4 in the country, those are the top 4 seeds in the playoff. Let's go from there. Let's not reward conferences. Let's reward teams. If Boise State is one of the top 10 teams in college football, put them in the top 10 in the college football playoff or in the Big 12, or in the Big 12, in the college football playoff in the 16-team format. Same thing with the Big 12. If there's, like I said, 3 teams in the top 12 that deserve a spot, let's not limit that. Let's make sure it's a thing where those teams get their due. Same thing for the Big 10, same thing for the SEC. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I think this is very slippery in terms of the slope we're walking on here with the direction of the playoff. The regular season is what this thing's been built on, and we continue to tinker with the natural beauty that is college football. Regardless, it's headed this direction. We will still appreciate it. We'll still enjoy it. Do I think it's great for the sport? Not really. Will I still watch it? Absolutely. Will it still be fun? Of course. But I'm just telling you now, I don't love the way we're continuing to tinker with what got us to where we are, which made college football so great. But nonetheless, we will keep a pulse on that as things progress, as things develop.